if you hold strong beliefs, either left or right, it's important to understand that they both create each other. There is no left without a right. There is no Andrew Tate without wokeism. And it's very important that we all make our own minds up about things. Take the data that's readily available, make your own mind up. Don't believe everything. There used to be a phrase, don't believe everything you see on the news. But that all changes when it's on the TV. Food for thought. They control the narrative on both sides. Don't forget that. Most of our thought processes are not our own. We have them drilled into us from the moment we're born. You got to think for yourselves. Don't believe everything you see on the TV, and don't believe everything that you hear coming out of people like Andrew Tate's mouth. Take bits that you think, based on your own intuition, are logical or reasonable or understandable or true, and make up your own mind about stuff. That's what they don't want us to do. Once you start going down the rabbit hole of deep state and not having trust in the system. I was messed around a lot. I've been my whole life. And one of the things I was messed around by was school. So from a very young age, I had thrust upon me that the people that are supposed to have a duty of care for you don't always, and everyone is fallible to human flaws, and especially in cliquey, clubby type natures, that isn't always the thing that's morally correct or right. And it's just it's important to question stuff. It's important to question what I'm saying. It's important to question what you hear on the TV, especially what the news are saying. Look at the change. Frankly, this is all about natural resources and control. And it's probably a holy war, really. We're going into a difficult time now, and there probably is going to be a lot of backlash from a lot of things that are happening. And if everyone can think for themselves and try and make their own minds, if we go to war, there's no way I'm fighting, because the people that I'm fighting for are the problem. And until people start talking about that more widely and openly and have a conversation about it, is that true? Is that not true? Why do you think that's true? Why do you think that's not true? And being able to have conversations, open conversations with people that you don't necessarily agree with, that's how we make progress. But that's what we'll have drilled against us. You don't agree with me, so I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not happy with you. The whole green thing was probably because the West is running out of oil. They can change the weather with chemicals and stuff now. How do we even know who's been up there, who's been to space, who's seen the reports, who read the reports on the COVID vaccines, who read the reports on COVID death? I did, but very limited amount of people did it. So we just pick up and buy whatever's on the TV. But the people that are on the TV, as the states are now proving, aren't always completely honest. And because we live in a society that drives cash is king, profit over everything, look at the products that we buy these days. An Apple charger is a great example. You buy an Apple charger and it breaks, but they make it to break. They don't make it to last. They used to make things to last back in the day. They don't now. And I'm obviously just in the middle of stuff thinking about, look at the mess. And I've still got my pajamas on, or had them on. We need to be very careful about what narratives we pick up and where we pick them up from. The stuff with the media is very traceable. Follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. Money is control. The people that have the money have the control. The people that have the money don't always have your best interests at heart. And once you accept the fact that the people that are supposed to protect you aren't there to protect you, it's certainly not the only thing they're there for, then it gets a bit scary. But I've been noticing this stuff since 9/11. remember when I first started looking into 9/11, that was the days of the beginning of YouTube. Before censorship had hit YouTube, there was loads of independent media on there. You have to even be careful about what independent media is independent anymore. I've been a very big advocate for YouTube and independent media for a long time. But even that now, how do we know that that's not? Because the left creates the right and the right creates the left. And ultimately there is a darker, deeper, bigger plan above that we, as the pawns in the chess game, have no real idea of. Boris Johnson giving contracts to his mates, and the world's run by clubs and societies, and unless you're in one, you have no say over anything, basically. Democracy. This is just thinking out loud, but how do we even know who counts the democracy with polls and stuff? How can we trust the people that trust, it's just, I don't think we as the people are in a position to be hating on each other and stealing from each other and not helping each other out. The divide and conquer ends up with the people who are the most important thing being not looked after in the sense of human kindness and empathy and honesty and love thy neighbour. There's definitely going to be a push in Christianity coming. I think that's why there's a link between USA and Russia coming. Europe are going to get pissed off because they're probably, who knows who controls them, but it's definitely linked to whatever was controlling the States. So, follow the money. It's sad because we live in this very materialistic society of status being derived from material possessions. And it's not. But you have to know that to understand that. But you spend a whole lifetime chasing it to then realise, oh, I'm not happy. My PE teacher told me about a guy that back in the day, his mate owned Lambrini wine, and he was like loaded but super unhappy. That's a common theme, I imagine. Unless we're all living in this narcissistic, materialistic society where dopamine hits can be sourced easily and readily. Where the middle class, there's a really good example, the middle class drive the premium retail market. Rich people don't waste their money on stuff like that. There are people that have got a lot of money that drive around in RAV4s, or, I'm not naked by the way, RAV4s, or, cars that don't. Money talks and wealth whispers. And the money people are all in bed together. The only thing that they've not got is the collective people. And once we realise that there is a collective that can be brought about and can be a positive thing for all people, apart from the historical bullying patriarchy or the ones that have got all the money, we're twisted and psyoped into thinking that these things are important, and they're not. They don't buy money. Money doesn't buy happiness. You want to be happy? Treat the person next to you nicely. And then everyone does that. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and we win. Or just keep believing what you're told and see how far it gets us. It's not got us very far so far, has it? Gotta be careful, man. We've all got to be careful. Think for yourselves. Don't believe everything that you're told. Understand there's more to this than we think. And I think a lot of people are starting to come around to that. But don't be fooled into being pushed the other way. Don't be fooled into going from left to right. Don't do that. Do not do that. Think for yourself. Do not be fooled in being pushed from left to right. I'll leave it at that. But we have to come together as a people, because we can't rely on the people at the top. Look how far that's got us so far. How many people do you know that died from COVID? Or family members? And that's just one thing that's coming out that's now true, that's been proven. Because they're releasing tapes and stuff, but don't be fooled into thinking that from going from left to right is the perfect fix-all, because it isn't. It's better, frankly, and it's certainly a starting point, but they're going to try and get us to fight. They're riling us up. They're going to try and get us to fight. They are going to try and get us to fight. Think for yourselves. Think of the bigger picture. Be nice to people.